Hello, Monetization Nation. Welcome back to the second episode with Tim Hughes. Tim is recognized by many as the world's leading expert on social selling. In our first episode with Tim, we discussed his career in social selling, common objections and mistakes in social selling, and how COVID-19 will impact businesses going forward. In today's episode, Tim shares 3 secrets of effective social selling and examples of good and bad social selling. Tectonic shifts are constantly transforming the earth and business, causing destruction and huge growth opportunities. I'm Nathan William, the host of Monetization Nation, where we learn how to leverage business tectonic shifts to transform monetization. Okay, can you share with me a story of someone that has done social poorly? And you don't even have to use their name. We don't need to throw anybody under the bus, but can you give me an example of someone that hasn't done it right?
I see it all the time, Nathan. I really do. I'm aware of an organization, and I have a friend who used to work there. They've just moved jobs, but it's the classic sales manager posts something, and or the sales VP posts something, and then everyone's basically told to go and like it. And he said that this just isn't working. And they even paid. There was somebody in that organization who had the job title of social selling expert. And you look at the social selling experts presence, and it's like, this person clearly doesn't understand anything about social selling. I went into another organization, a big corporate, and they said, and I went in and I got a meeting with the guy that ran, and he said, can I bring in a marketing person? I said yes. She said, and then she said, we're actually doing social selling anymore. Well, already. I said, okay. So I said, how's it working? She said, oh, it's brilliant, just amazing. I said, well, that's great. We're always looking for examples of where, good response for social selling. I said, tell us what you're doing. She said, well, we've got a team, global team who do social selling. And what they do is that they send brochures to people through emails. I said, oh, that's great. So I said turned to the general manager next to me. I said, so when you get an email, what do you do? He says, I just delete them. So I looked at the marketing lady and I said, so when you get an email, what do you do? She said, I just delete them. And then they looked at each other and I said, so how is it going? They said, it's actually going really shit. I said, well, there you go. It's like, it's just pushing out.
Selling. Yeah.
Well, it's on social, isn't it? And we're selling, it's like, no, this is, just pushing out brochures. Brochures don't create sales. Conversations create sales.
The trust and the likability that comes from those conversations causes the sale.
Yes. But the thing is, the important thing is the trust, because we've actually bought things from people we don't like. So it's not just important to be liked; it's also to be trusted. Because there's people that I trust, but I dislike them.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I've bought a number of cars from a particular dealer, and I did not like the salesperson, but I trusted him.
Yeah, that's right. All right, so I liked those stories. Can you share with me a few stories of companies that did it well, that have effectively used social selling and seen a good ROI from it?
Yes. A lot of the people that we work with work under NDA, because obviously we're getting a competitive advantage, or they're getting a competitive advantage. We've just done some work with a drones company. What they've done is that they actually ran an advertising campaign at the same time, and they actually stopped that pretty quickly. What we've done is that we've taken just 6 people in 3 months. So it was just a pilot of 6 people in 3 months. In that 3 months, they've got 26,608 likes and 2,688 comments. So that's about 30,000 interactions. So that's 30,000 interactions. Remember, an interaction on social is your opportunity to have a conversation.
Yep.
So even if you took out 20% of those because they were mates liking your stuff, that's still a massive opportunity to have conversations with people. They got just under 2 million views, and they've grown their network by about 5,000 people. So think of that as increasing your email database by 5,000. Except with an email database, you don't know the people, but with On social, you actually know them, you've had an interaction, they may know you, like you, trust you. If they had done those 30,000 interactions and they basically used pay-per-click, for drones, a pay-per-click is about, I'm working in pounds here, but it's about $15. And so therefore those 30,000 clicks would have cost them something like $425,000. And I can tell you they paid less than that. So they're in a situation now where they've won. Obviously, it takes time with sales, but they've won one PO and they've tripled their sales qualified leads. So I think they were looking to get, before we started working with them, they were looking to get 4 SQLs a week. No, sorry, they were getting 4 SQLs a week. They wanted to get 7, and I think they're getting now 12 or 14 or something. But I mean, it's the thing is it's kind of off the scale. I mean, we always say to people that we can increase your revenue by 30% and reduce your sales cycle by 40%, and it always happens. Always. I've never been, and I challenge people. It's obviously we empower people, so we're totally reliant on the sales force to make those changes. But we always transform and we always meet those figures. There's another company, I haven't got the figures with me. They've just come in and we've got 100% ROI.
Love it.
It's transformation. I mean, it's just, bigger than our wildest dreams. I mean, our chairman actually says you can't say it's got 100% ROI because no one will believe you.
So that's a money machine, right? 100% ROI means you put $1 in and you get $2 out, correct?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Why would we ever not want to do that? And then we could put $1 million in. At that point, we don't even have an advertising budget, because you can. It's a money
machine. You just keep giving me millions of dollars, and I keep giving you millions of dollars back.
All right, let's talk about KPIs. So what are the most important metrics for people to track in their social selling to help measure whether or not they're doing a good job?
So we measure 2 things. Generally, internally, I measure revenue and I measure inbound. With clients, generally what we get them to do is create a campaign code, and there tends to be 2 campaign codes. We found that this works best. One is businesses being found from through social, and one is business that's been influenced through social. And the reason for that is a number of our clients, for example, can have sales cycles that can be 183 days or something like that. Obviously, I'm being precise because I know one that has got 183 days. And so it could be that what happens is that person puts out a post, they get a response, they got an opportunity. That's the campaign code where it's found through social, whereas influence may be what we're going to do is we'll go into a particular account and connect to lots of people and grow our influence in that particular account, though the opportunity may have come in through inbound or something like that.
Which technologies and platforms are most important to use to help optimize our social selling?
So I'm not a big technology user, so I use LinkedIn, Twitter. We're actually now using Clubhouse quite a lot. But from a tool perspective, we use Slack. I run the business on Slack. I did some work at my previous corporate company where we used a Slack type product, and we increased productivity by 25%. So you get an extra 25% of employees for free. So immediately, as soon as we started the business, I said, we're using Slack. And I hate email anyway. So I use a product called Passel, which is a way of creating blogs very, very quickly. I must admit that people often, when I say that, they think I'm saying it creates the blog for you. It doesn't. But it's a quick mechanism. I use things like Subtitle as a way of putting subtitles on videos. We make sure that we're mixing up content. They're the ones that otherwise we're not really big tech users, and we kind of don't need to be.
Yeah.
What we're doing is that we're going out and having conversations with people, and apart from using something like Buffer to schedule something, we don't use a lot of automation. We actually keep away from it.
Yeah. If we titled this episode "The 5 Secrets of Social Selling,"
Yeah.
what would you say would be your 5 secrets of social selling?
So always with social selling, there's 3 things that you need to do. There's 3 things that anybody who's watching this need to go away and implement. The first thing is that you need to have what's generally called a buyer-centric profile. And what that means is it's not a profile where you say how great you are and how many times you've made President's Club and your company, your product. You need to put yourself in your buyer's shoes and say, okay, if I was a buyer, what would I be looking for in a person that is gonna help me? Now, remember, a buyer is looking for help. They're not looking for someone to sell them something.
Right.
So the mistake again that people make is they think this is about selling. It's not. You need to, this is about you getting a conversation with the person. Once you get to the conversation, the person will give you permission about whether you can pitch or not. But you need to get to the conversation. So another mistake that people make is that they think that everybody they talk to, they have to sell to, and they don't. We see there being 3 types of people. One is someone you can sell to. One is someone that you can basically get referral from. So they may say, I'm not the person you need to talk to, but you need to talk to my brother-in-law. He's actually looking for this right now. And the other person is what we call is someone with a big mouth, which is somebody that will actually take your insights and your influence and share it through their network. So first thing you need is a buyer-centric profile. We teach people how to use things like storytelling and how to use things like the limbic brain to get people to actually walk towards you rather than walk away. Priscilla McKinney, Eric Doyle, Adam Gray, Alex Lowe, my LinkedIn profile are great examples of that. Vanessa Gartel's LinkedIn profile are all examples of what we see as good looks like. So if you go to DLA Ignite LinkedIn business page and then you check other people that are working for us, we all should be the high watermark. The next thing you need is a network. This is not a bunch of contacts. These are people that you can, you don't necessarily need to have a telephone conversation with them, but you kind of need to know them. And remember, everybody that you connect to on social is, don't treat it as a sale, treat it as a way of a means of you getting a conversation. As soon as you go onto social and start selling, what you'll find. So anybody who comes to me in pitches, I block. I mean, it's a straightforward, and because what they're doing is that they're killing the platform. But people can come to me and have a conversation. And you need to build a network, and your network needs to be as big and as wide and as varied as you can have it. So, for example, BMW is a client of ours. They have 100,000 employees. So to sell into BMW, you need to probably be connected to 1,000 people. And quite often, if you talk to we were doing some work with a client where we de-risked their forecast by using social. And they were selling to the pizza company, Domino's Pizza. And they said, oh yeah, it's a done deal. It'll happen this quarter. I said, it won't. And they said, why not? I said, because the salesperson isn't connected to anybody in Domino's Pizza. If the salesperson isn't connected to anybody on LinkedIn, there's no relationship there. And it didn't happen. And now every sales leader needs to be in a situation that whenever they run a deal review about an account, they need to be saying the first question is, how many people are you connected to in this account? So we use this example of Eric Doyle, who works for me. We wanted to see how many people he could connect to in Wood Group, which is a local company to him in Aberdeen in Scotland. And he got 555 in 3 days. He's now connected to 1,000 people in there. He's connected to the whole of the board in the UK and the US. and the CEO in the UK and the US. Now, has he got an opportunity to sell in there? Yes, he has, because he's connected to people, therefore he's got his influence. I mean, it could be, you could call this account-based marketing or account-based selling, but at the end of the day, it's about, having one or two people isn't enough anymore. And this supply chain company that we're working with, where they say there's 100 people that make the decision, so you've got to be connected to more than 100 people. So the third thing is a network. The second thing is a network. The third thing you need is content. And what we've done is that we've actually done we've done research in terms of what content works and what content doesn't work. And unsurprisingly, what content doesn't work is advertising, because no one's interested in your products or services, and corporate content, anything where it says our company is great, buy our product because we're great. No one's interested. What people are interested in are your people, and your people are your unique selling point. In fact, your only unique selling point today. And the more humanized that you can be with your content, the more engagement you get. Now, quite often people say that likes and comments are vanity. It's rubbish. Likes and comments are actually your opportunity to have a conversation. And we know that conversations create sales. So we do a presentation. I do it a lot, where we show Eric. Eric posts something on LinkedIn. It was about his son's birthday. His son Austin is 16. Has a COVID birthday, so they went to the beach. So you can imagine, 16-year-old, the last thing he wants to do is be with his boring old dad. He wants to be out with his mates, but he has to go to the beach. So Eric takes some photos. He puts them up on LinkedIn, and I think he gets 168 likes or comments, about 10,000 views, and we see a lot of that sort of stuff. But the thing is that we have a methodology behind that. It's a strategy. He knows why he's posted it. Now, it only took him 10 minutes to post that, but off the back of that, he got 184 leads. He got 6 C-level meetings. He's had 2 proposals off the back of that and 1 purchase order, and it took him 10 minutes. Now, there is not one single demand generation method out there, cold calling, advertising, email marketing, that can get you 6 C-level meetings, 2 proposals, and 1 purchase order in 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's right.
And this is transformational. Now, when we show that to people and they say, oh, we're all over social at the moment, and we say, this is what Eric got from 1 post, it goes quiet. And that this is what you could be doing, and you could scale this across the whole of your organization. And this is the difference between doing social and digital dominance.
I love it. Thank you so much for sharing your time and your wisdom today. This is so valuable.
It's been great fun. Thank you for researching. Thank you for buying the book, reading it, and researching the stuff. And thank you so much for that.
We talk about tectonic shifts, and social selling is definitely one of these tectonic shifts. And if people enjoyed what you talked about and would like to connect with you and your organization, they can definitely buy the social selling book. And I highly recommend this. This is a great book. In addition to that, how else can people connect with you?
So, Social Selling Techniques to Influence Buyers and Change Makers, the book is available on Amazon worldwide. There's over 100 5-star reviews, or there was last time I looked. In terms of finding me, I'm Timothy Hughes, or Tim Hughes on LinkedIn. I'm Timothy_Hughes on Twitter. So that's the best way. And if they could write I get loads and loads and loads of connection requests from people. If they could basically write a little introduction that says, Tim, I heard you on Nathan Gwillim's podcast. I thought you were great. No, okay, you don't need to write that bit, but I heard you on Nathan Gwillim's podcast. Can I connect? Then that'll be great.
Do you sell your courses online? I would love to take a course from you about social selling. Is there something like that I can sign up for?
We don't sell them online kind of at the moment. We don't sell them on our website. Generally, we would expect someone to approach us. And our go-to-market is is through, we have partners and resellers. So I have 3 resellers in the States. I've got a reseller in South Africa. I've got a reseller in Portugal. So we've got resellers all over the world. And the idea of that is that it provides us with scale. And these people are, if you pardon the expression, we've created Tim Hugheses across the world. And what we do when we transform people is that they go through our social selling program. And the importance of our social selling program is it's about change. So they have a group session, and we have to keep groups low at 10 people, because this is about change, habit change and mindset change. The first session is about your profile, because that's the most important thing that you need to sort out. The second one is about connecting to people. The third session is about being found. And we also do a piece on Twitter on that, because it's important that you're not just on LinkedIn. The fourth session is about growing your influence. And the fifth session is about creating content. And all the salespeople come out of that having written probably about 300, 500 word blog. Between each of those sessions, we do one-to-ones. And the reason for that was, when I worked at a big corporate, I would run group sessions to people, and someone would come up to me in the corridor a week later and say, I was nodding and saying I knew what you were talking about. I haven't got a clue. Can I buy a coffee and can you talk through it? And what we find is it's at the one-to-ones where we get you get the most movement of people, because everybody learns at a different rate. But the key thing is that it's based on, what we're doing is that we're creating change through the people, because we've got to get them to come out the other end, not just knowing, but doing. So one of the first sessions is about your profile. So your summary title on your LinkedIn profile is the most visible thing about you on the internet. If you Google your name, it will show your name, your photo, and that summary title. Your job is not to bore people with saying I'm a sales director or sales VP. Your job is to get people to go, oh my God, what's that? I'm going to look more of that. Which is why if you look at Priscilla McKinney's title, or Eric Doyle's title, or Adam Gray's title, or Vanessa Gartal's title, what you'll do is you'll go, wow, what's that? Look at my title, and that's about curiosity, and then getting them to look at your summary, which again is written using storytelling techniques. This is appealing to your limbic brain and getting a gut reaction inside of you to say, that person looks interesting. Or at the end of the day, what we're doing is that we're going online and we're judging what a person is like by looking at their not just their passive profile, but also their active profile, their active what they're posting on social. So your key thing, if you think about an organization that's going to buy, so we're going to buy and we're going to look at 3 companies. So what we'll do is we'll get the salesperson up in those 3 companies. And what you want the person to do is to spend all the time reading your company's salesperson's profile, going, that person looks like they're going to look after us.
Yeah.
That person is the person that's going to, and at that point, you're already ahead. Because they may say we're going to talk to all 3, but they're going to go into the meeting saying Tim Hughes' profile is he looks like a great guy. Well, the other people there's salespeople that have got things like President's Club for 4 years in a row. Once I get my teeth into a customer, I never let them go. Either I'll die or they'll die. And it's like, do you realize that when a customer reads that, what they think? I know sales leaders and, oh yes, that's really great, a matchup, but a buyer,
who would ever want to do business with that person?
They won't do business with them.
Yeah.
And so so that's what we do with the program. And what we do is that we make sure that people step through and they move forward step by step, and they're doing it, and they're getting the training and the coaching from experts who know about social selling and probably are experts in their vertical as well. and they're walking through that. And the idea is at the end of it, they will walk out and actually have a change in the way they work. I will always find that someone will find it difficult all the way through, whether it's connecting to people. Some people come to me and say, I can't connect to strangers. When we talk about it, I have some people that say I can't write, which is rubbish, because salespeople are the best communicators in the world. We're always writing emails, trying to get, when I worked at the previous company, there was never any resource. So you're always writing to your managers, explaining why your deal had to have their resource put on it. I mean, we're great at it, but people think that content is like a 2,000 word white paper. The thing about 2,000 word white paper is we go, that's interesting. We put it in that folder on our desktops that says, I'll read it when I'm dead. Whereas if I send you a 300 word blog or a 500 word blog, you'll read it now. Yeah. Because it's not going to take you much time. And all of these steps, everybody can do this.
Thank you so much, Tim, for sharing your stories and knowledge with us today. Here are some of my key takeaways from this episode. Number 1, we should humanize our content. Number 2, focus on what a buyer is looking for in our profiles. They're probably looking for help and probably not for our company brand, product, or services. Number 3, having a large network of people who like us and trust us will allow us to sell more easily. When we have connections to the people we are selling to, they are more likely to buy from us. Number 4, if our content focuses on people instead of products, we will have more engagement. If you've enjoyed this interview and want to learn more about Tim or connect with him, you can find him on LinkedIn or visit dlaignite.com, and I will include links to both of those in the blog post for this episode. Did you like today's episode? Then please follow these channels to receive more free digital monetization content. Number 1, get a free monetization assessment of your business or subscribe to the free monetization e-magazine at monetizationnation.com. Number 2, you can subscribe to the Monetization Nation podcast or YouTube channel. And number 3, you can follow Monetization Nation on Instagram and Twitter. What results have you seen from social selling? Please join our private Monetization Nation Facebook group and share your insights with other digital monetizers. Thank you for joining us today. I wish you success in achieving your monetization goals. Do you want to become a better digital monetizer? To receive great monetization stories and secrets, please go to monetizationnation.com and join free. And if you liked today's episode, please subscribe to the show and share it.